Hey there, David Gordon from TheaterMania here. I'm here with the legendary Isabella Rossellini. We are talking about her latest theatrical show, Sex and Consequences, which is going to be live streamed across the world starting October 16th. Hi, Isabella.
Hi, you call
Tell-
me legendary. Thank you.
do you not think of yourself as legendary?
No, no, but I like you saying it.
Tell me about Sex and Consequences.
So, we are all theater people. We are being home and we miss our audience and we miss the life experience to be there. It's the theater and film. I've also been in film, but there's something to be said about something life that happens in that moment and is ephemeral and then it disappears. There is a magic, and I miss my audience. And then my agent came up with the idea of he works with a lot of musicians, and a lot of musicians whose concerts have been canceled, they started to give concert from their home, from where they were. And my agent called me and he said, do you think you would work for monologues? And I jumped on the opportunity and I say, I certainly try. And the format is a little bit different. I was advised to keep it short, at 40 minutes and 20 minutes Q&A, because I think it's harder to stay in front of your own screens, sitting at your home, that being in a theater, sitting in a beautiful armchair with, gilded walls and chandeliers. So it's 40 minutes long with the Q&A at the end.
What can audiences expect from this show?
So the one that have seen my show is still the same format. I hope that I know they are comical because I've toured in 50 50 cities all over the world, and they were mostly sold out and people laughed. So I know that my monologues are comical. They are about animals. And I have a degree, a master degree on animal behavior and conservation. So what I say, it's always scientifically correct and is the latest that the science is studying and has discovered. But I always translate everything into entertainment and fun. So they are slightly surreal. I sometimes transform myself into an animal. I show clips of me anyway playing different animals. I have my animals because I would broadcast from my home, which is a farm. So I have my animals being with me. In fact, right now I'm training my sheep to be able to come up on my porch because they're going to perform in my porch, which is an easier place to place the lights.
Amazing. I feel like reproduction, because the show is about animal reproduction, I feel like reproduction has been a major part of a lot of your shows, like Green Porno.
Yeah.
Why does this subject fascinate you? Why do animals fascinate you in general?
Well, I was born with love and interest for animals. I wasn't really something, I was just born with it. I always liked them since I was a little girl. I did do other shows. Link Circus was about animal intelligence. Are they intelligent or not? So not always sex, but sex it's easy because a lot of people are interested in sex. And if I would do a digestive system, I would probably get much less audience. And also sex it's easy because you can make jokes. And also, frankly, a lot of scientists study sex, whether they call it evolution, selection of traits, genetics. It means sex. It means that you mate, there is mixture of the genes, you inherit some of them, you pass them on generation after generation. This is how we adapt. This is how we evolved. Now, we camouflage the word sex with terminology that is evolution, genes, passage of the genes, selection, traits. So one gets lost a little bit, but really at the end, it means sex.
When did you decide to go to school to get a master's degree in animal behavior?
So I always wanted to do it, but it wasn't available when I had the right age to go to college, 20-year-old. It's a relatively new science. You might be familiar with Jane Goodall, that was really the founder, and it always existed, animal behavior, but she really brought it to a very popular level that people knew. This is Jane Goodall that studied chimpanzee in the wild. And University, I grew up in Italy. The university didn't offer animal behavior. They offered zoology, biology, and I was a little bit intimidated by, you know, biology. I thought, oh my God, I wasn't a very good student. That terrified me. So I stayed in the family business, which I love, which is film. And then I also branched out into modeling. But then as I became older, there was no work for me as a model, very little work for me as an actress. And animal behavior study and conservation now is offered by the university. And so I went back to university and took my degree. I graduated a year and a half ago.
Do you find the animal studies to be more fulfilling, less fulfilling, as fulfilling as like an acting or a modeling career that you have?
It's all connected, you know, in a way it's all connected. We'll categorize the world, but it's all pretty much connected. I don't see any, that I always thought that they were disconnected, but they are connected. We are all a continuum. We're all living in the world asking the same questions. And also wondering the emotions, you know. I mean, I have two doggies. They seem to be happy to see me when I come home. They jump, they wag their tail, they seem joyful. So is this same joy that they seem to express is the same joys that I feel? Why not? I mean, Darwin did say there is a continuity. If you look at the genetics, we have a lot in common. So I think at the end is the same. And I have combined it all because I started to become a costume designer. When I do my shows, I transform myself. You know, it's kind of origami. A lot of my clothes I designed myself. Sometimes they are executed by others, and sometimes I'm helped by others to make them better. But the original thought is always mine. It came from my studies as a costume designer, and then became a model. So that also helped. And I come from a family of filmmakers, so I make short little films because I know how to move the camera. And it's about animals because that was my old interest. So in a way, my work, these short films or these short monologues that I do, is reconnecting the dots that I thought also were separated. You know, there was an interest in fashion, one in films, one in animals, but now they all came together.
You said something before that like you can tell when like your dogs are happy to see you. Can you tell when like your sheep are happy when you come over, or horses or something? Like, is there a way to?
Yes, no, they do. I mean, they do. I mean, I just put in my Instagram my sheep running to see me. So I mean, they know that I feed them. So I don't know if they are opportunistic or happy to see me. But even if they are opportunistic, it's like, oh, she's here. We eat. So there is a kind of, I'm sure, a joyful sense. But I have a lot of animals at the farm. I have chickens, ducks, turkeys, bees. Those are like the Martian. They are really hard to read. um, and what do you say? Goat, sheep, yes. And there is an affinity with dogs that there isn't that much with domestic animals. You know, most of the other domestic animals have been selected, to use a word, scientific word, rather than sex, after over many generations. They've been selected really mostly for us to eat them or for the chicken to lay more and more eggs. But the dog was really selected. The original dog is the wolf. And we selected characteristics that we liked in the wolf to make them more and more friendlier toward us. They helped us hunting at the beginning. They became guard dogs. They became herding dogs. So some civilization eat dog, but they have been selected really to cooperate with us. And I feel that with dogs. There is an affinity with dogs that I don't feel with the other animals. When I started to having my farm only 6 or 7 years ago, I thought that you can empathize or understand the animal all the same. You don't. I don't understand my bees.
Isabella, thank you so much for your time. It's always lovely talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. I'm so excited to see the show.
Thank you.
Be well. Bye.